Guys, I'm back again. Another video. Miss Angie. Hey, I hope y'all are doing great today. I hope you had a great day, great night's sleep, and all that to make your day go well. Well, we want to thank God for this great day. It's been a wonderful day. It's always a wonderful day when you can get up and be in your right mind and get things accomplished. So I'm not going to take a long time today. There was something on my heart I wanted to talk to the young wives and young hubbies about. And that is, I think in one video I may have talked a little bit about self-esteem before, but we're going to take it to a different direction this time. And we're going to talk about self-esteem in a way where how people look at you. And that's a kind of interesting way of looking at self-esteem, because you can't control how people see you. You know, you can control pretty much. We can control how we see ourselves. You know, we can do better. We can take classes. We can do all kinds of things, but we can't control how other people choose to see us. And sometimes that can be very hard. And sometimes it can be very disheartening, because sometimes other people don't give you the fairness or the chance that you think you deserve. Now, I'm not talking about, let me clarify this, because everybody does not deserve an opportunity to be in somebody's life. There are a lot of people who feel like just because they want to be in your life, that they deserve to be in there, to be there. And that's not true. They don't. And just because you want to be in somebody's life doesn't necessarily mean that you deserve to be there or you should be there. I mean, you could admire Michelle Obama, but just because you want to be in her life doesn't mean that you're going to get there. And if you see her and you try your best to get around her, you may end up getting arrested. And that's by pretty much any of the celebrity people that we, sometimes tend to admire. So I just want to make that disclaimer. Just because you feel that you should be in somebody's life doesn't mean that you should be in there. And vice versa. Just because somebody says they like you or whatever, I'm talking about maybe a friendship or not necessarily, it could be a relationship, but a friendship definitely doesn't mean that they're a good fit for your life. And I can speak from a personal point of view, because I've had people, as I'm on my journey, that have felt that they should be able to just come into my life because they've been used to doing that in other people's lives. Just pick a person and get in there. Pick a person and get in there. And I say, whoa, hey, back up. I'm sorry. That's not how I work, because I value what I have in my life. I value what God has given me. It's like a lady who's pregnant. You're pregnant with that baby, and you protect that baby at all costs. You protect the baby. You don't go outside and you're pregnant and do flips across the parking lot or in your yard. You don't go and jump on a trampoline and do belly flops, or you don't go and jump in the pool. You protect, because you know what's inside of you is so precious. And that's how you should feel about yourself also, young wife and young husband. You should know that what's inside of you is so precious that it needs to be protected, and that you can't let everybody in your life just because they have a desire to get in there. You have to know, I don't mean be paranoid, but you absolutely have to know a person's motive for wanting to get in your life. And maybe it's a good motive. It could be good. But you have to decide if that's going to work for you. Now, I wanted to kind of talk on something because I see this, and it's something that I've experienced, and I think as an older woman, I can talk on it because I've gone through it a lot. I've talked to people a lot, younger people. I've had time to really think on it and think about a positive direction for this. And what I'm talking about is when other people on purpose try to make you feel uncomfortable, unwanted, unloved, unvalued. People that go out of their way to try to prove to you that you have no worth. And this doesn't just apply to one race of people. I know sometimes we think, well, it's just one race. No, it's not. There's a lot of people who have a mindset that's not the correct mindset. Whatever it is that's brought them to that point in their life, you can't worry about it. There's millions of people in this world, and what can you do about what somebody thinks in that aspect? But you can do a lot about what you think and why you think that way, how you respond. Now, can I say something? Just because somebody tries to treat you in a disrespectful way, just say you walk into a store, and I've seen this and I've had it happen. Just say you walk into a store, any store. It could be anywhere in the United States. And when you walk in, you walk in and you heard them speak, and people say something to the people that were in front of you, whether they be black or white or whatever race. But when you walk in, no one said anything. Well, your first impression could be, well, that's rude, or why would they behave like that? Or you could think, you know what? No one has to say anything to me when I walk into a store. Why do I care if someone greets me? I mean, it's a nice thing to do, but if somebody doesn't, does that make you less than a person you were 30 seconds ago before they decided not to? I mean, because you like a person and they don't like you back, does that make you less of a woman or less of a young man than you were? I think we put a lot of emphasis on how people treat us, and not enough emphasis on how we treat ourselves. Because really, the main thing is how you treat yourself and how you treat others. Not so much of how others treat you that gives you the value. You give value to yourself. I always told my daughters and my sons when they were growing up, well, more of my daughters, I think, in this later time. And whenever my one daughter would say, well, Mom, I don't have this, or I don't have that, or this or that, and I would say, but you're not looking at it correctly, because you can get a nice name brand shirt, but that nice name brand shirt is not going to walk out of the store on its own. Someone has to come in and purchase that shirt, take it home, and put it on. That gave the shirt the value. The person that put it on. It's not the shirt by itself. It's not the shoes by itself. Those shoes aren't going to start walking down the street by themselves. Somebody's feet have to be put into those shoes for them to move. So who has the value? The clothing, the shoes, the hairstyle, or you? You are the value. Young woman, you are the value. Young man. But we never really get a grasp of our value and how much we're valued. Because to see that, you have to see yourself through the eyes of one who created you. Not through the eyes of the culture, not through the eyes of someone opening or closing a door, or or someone, doing some kind of obscene gesture to try to make you belittle yourself, because that's what they're doing. They're trying to cause you to feel belittled. But that power is yours. You don't have to feel belittled just because somebody is initiating it. You can decide, no, I am not belittling myself. I am not going to fall for that. That is their problem. Whoever it is, whatever color, it doesn't matter, whatever gender, whoever, whatever grade. You have to accept it. So what thoughts are you accepting? Because somebody doesn't want to walk by you. So you're saying to yourself, well, I'm not good enough. Or are you saying to yourself, hey, you know what? It's their choice. They don't have to walk by me if they don't want to. What are you saying to yourself if somebody doesn't like your hairstyle? They don't like your hair. They don't like your figure. Whatever it is. But what do you say about you? What is it you're saying about you, young woman? Because if you don't like you, it's going to be very hard for your husband to like you. If you don't like you, middle schooler, high schooler, college age, it's going to be very hard for anybody else to like you. It starts with you. And this is a lot that we don't see. We aren't taught this a lot. Especially those of us who are under the microscope a lot. And you have to, on purpose, look at the good in yourself and see the good in others, in your husband. And husbands have to, on purpose, look at the good in himself and see the good in his wife. And young people, whether you're in school, you have to, on purpose, look at it, because it's not out in the culture. But that doesn't mean that it's not there. That doesn't mean that you aren't valued. It doesn't mean that you don't have worth because you don't see it on every corner and on every TV show. And you hear people say little ugly things that break your heart or cause you to feel just hurt in your just in your stomach. You just feel like, man, But you can have that esteem that came with you when you were born, already wrapped up in you. The Creator gave you that. And as you grow, many times as we grow, little by little, those pieces are taken until you just feel like you are, you just have no worth. But I want to tell you today, your esteem and your self-worth is something for you to fight for. Because if you have self-worth, you won't do things to hurt your body. You won't overdrink. You won't do drugs. You won't be promiscuous. You won't hurt other people. Having self-worth helps you with so many things in your life. Thinking correctly about yourself. So have you taken the time to just get out there and find out some things about yourself? You could start with your ancestry, where you say, I don't have the money for that. Well, can you go into people in your family, maybe get a notebook and go around to different people in your family and ask them if they know anything about this person or that person, or if they can give you a story. That helps build your self-esteem. Because you came from somewhere. You came from some people. You came from some group. The same line where all other races of people have, you have that same line as far as grandparents, great grandparents, great great grandparents. You have forefathers, they have forefathers, everybody has forefathers. We don't all just have one set of forefathers. I'm sorry. If we did, that would be cool, no problem, but we don't. We're not all just one mixed in pot. God is so amazing that He made us all different. I don't care if you look like somebody else. You could have a twin. You could be a triplet. It doesn't matter. You're still different. You're one of the three. You're not all three. All three triplets aren't meshed together. You're one of the three. If you're a twin, you're one of the two. And you're an individual. You're one of you, regardless. It could be, young lady, you're experiencing some difficulties in your marriage because you don't feel very good about yourself. And we women are like that. We will internalize it. We want this body that looks like Beyonce. And I know Beyonce looks good. I had to give it to you, girl. She looks good. And hey, she worked on that body. Other women, I see, what is this? Angela Bassett looks great. Just so many women. Regina King. I mean, just so many women that we see. And I know there are many, many more. But there was just some that came to my mind, just like that. But, those ladies really worked on their bodies. You could tell they work out. And if you want to feel better about yourself, then you may have to do something different. I'm sorry. I forgot to cut that off. But you may have to do something a little differently. But you can do it if that's something that's really bothering you and making you feel insecure and unworthy. Because you want to be free in your marriage. You want to enjoy your husband. And the husband should want to enjoy the wife. But if you're down on yourself, you're not going to be at your best. You're not going to look your best. You're not going to behave your best. And you're going to always be thinking, oh, he wants somebody else. He's looking at somebody else. Now, I'm saying this, if you have a good husband, you have a righteous husband, and he's really not behaving in that way. Now, some men who do not have Christ in their minds and haven't gotten that mind renewed and got that flesh under control, I don't know what's going on with that situation. You could be right. I'm saying a man who's not doing those things, he's really trying to love you. But because of your own insecurities in yourself, you feel that you're unworthy. So that's something to work on. I just wanted to take time to talk to young wives and hubbies today, and young hubbies, the same thing goes for your self-esteem. It doesn't matter what job you work. I had an incident where I actually worked for the city, and so this guy who was kind of coming around me to get to work, because that's what I do. He always would have me kind of drop him off somewhere else, and I drive for a living. So he was just kind of, I could tell that he was a little embarrassed, and I was like, well, what's going on with this guy? I mean, I don't know him. He doesn't know me. I don't know why he acts so awkward whenever, he wants me to drop him off somewhere. But come to find out, he was working at McDonald's. He's an older guy, like around my age. And so he was working at this McDonald's, and I kind of put two and two together that he didn't want me to know that he was working at this McDonald's. Well, I thought it was kind of cute, in a way, because I guess he felt a little embarrassed. But, if I knew that guy, you know what I would have said to him? I didn't know him to say something to him. But if I had known him, I would have told him, sir, the job you work at does not define the person that you are. That's merely what you do. I don't know what things have happened in his life, the reason why. Some people would look down on a restaurant job at a certain age. I'm not saying that it will meet every need and put you in this lifestyle that you've always desired, but I'm saying that it's something. He had the mindset at least to work and to go to work and to keep a job. Is meeting some need, and so I don't think that, if your husband doesn't have the job that you want, young lady, or he's not pulling in the money that you want, or he doesn't have the college education that you think, look beyond that, because you need to see the person that he is. You're missing out on the person that he is, and the relationship you guys can have by only looking at what it is other people are seeing, whether it's your family, your friends, girlfriends can whatever. He need to bring in this, he need to bring in that. No, this is y'all's relationship. This is your relationship and his. Nobody else has an opinion in that. That's serious. That's serious. And it should not be a big deal, because he can grow. He can get there. He absolutely can get there, but what brought you into his life in the beginning? So you need to look at that and not at what's going on, what people are saying, what the world. This stuff is not going to last. And the same thing with men, I think I've heard more women say it because, well, of course, I've been around more women, but men may feel the same way too. They may feel like, well, I don't have this 6 figures, I don't have this, and I don't have that. I did have a guy, I was talking to him one day when we were in a meeting, and I've seen him before a few times, and I asked him, I was like, well, he's with a certain lady and stuff, and I was like, well, why haven't you married her? She's beautiful, she's this, she's that, she's the other. And he said, well, I don't have the money that I want. And I looked at him and I'm like, what do you mean you don't have the money? You may never have the money that you want as a man. I'm not trying to douse on your dreams. I'm saying you may not have that money like that. If you love this person, you care about this person, what does having the money that you want have to do with it? But I think in his mind, he felt like he had to have so much saved up and this, that, and the other. But in a woman's mind, most women that I know, they don't. If they love a guy and they're feeling this guy and they want to be with him, they don't care how much money that you have saved up. That's not the definition of a man, how much money you have. And I know that sounds cliche and you may not hear it a lot, but it's true. It's like guys who have problems with their height. You are a man regardless of how tall you are. That doesn't matter. That's not changing anything. Now, if some people don't see you or some people got issues with it, well, they just have issues. But regardless of how tall you are, you're still a man. Regardless of how tall you are and you're a woman, you're still a woman, right? We see tall women and we don't say, well, she's not a woman because she's tall. No, She's still a woman. She's just a tall woman. You're still a man. You may not have the height like some guys, you know, because we put height up there for guys, you know. But you're still a man. And I just wanted to touch on that, you know, today for our young women. If you're a young woman and you've just recently gotten married and other people are saying things about your relationship and about your husband, you need to step up for your husband. You need to shut that down. You need to shut it down. Now, in that last video, I got on the husbands for not standing up for the wives. And just standing there and letting people say anything to your wife, that is not cool. And I'm going to get in this one, I want to say for the wives, you need to stand up for your husband. You can have your girlfriends. I'm not coming against your girlfriends. I'm sure they love you, your sisters, your cousins, those women in your life. But when they all get together and they want to dog on somebody, say, look, no, mine is not the one. Tell them, no. You can't. This one, you can't talk about him. Y'all got to find somebody else to talk about. We go find Pee Wee Herman. Go find somebody nobody don't care about. But this one is mine. You cannot talk about him, okay? And put it down like that. They're gonna look at you all kind of crazy. They're gonna be doing their neck like this and that. Like, no, she didn't. I know, I can go there too. I can go there. But it's all fun, you know. It's just a cultural thing, and it's all. But you know, like, look, y'all can't be talking about my man. No, we is married now. Yeah, I know y'all can say, Miss Angie, that you too much. That is just too much. But you know, make it fun. You don't have to fall out with them. You ain't got to not speak to them anymore. You ain't got to, you know, douse cold water on them. No, just tell them what your heart is about it, and defend your husband. And I'm telling you, he will love you the more for it. But that's what you should do. That's what you should do. So I don't want to make it too long. I always say that, and then I kind of make it a little longer. But young lady, don't let other people's opinion of you become your opinion of yourself. And I heard that when I was young, and it stuck with me all these years. Do not let other people's bad opinion of you become your opinion of yourself. What does it take for you to love looking at yourself in the mirror? What does it take for you to allow your husband to love you? What does it take for you to have self-esteem no matter what's around you, no matter how people act, no matter what store they misbehave in, no matter what they say, no matter? What does it take? Because it's not of this culture. And it's not in the things of this world. I can tell you that right now. A lot of you are young, and I see so many young women, and I always call them my daughters because I'm 53, and I have a daughter that's 29, and really I would have had one child before her. So I have 4, and all of them are in their 20s. But I would have had one that would be actually 30 or 31 right now. But that one, the first one didn't make it. That was a miscarriage. And so I would have one in their 30s. So, you know, I feel like I can offer a little advice on life. And I think we should, as older women, we should be able to offer advice to you guys. We want to see you make it. We want your marriages to be happy. We want your children to be happy. I'm going to do a video about the children. I haven't done any yet on you know, helping, raising children. These are the happiest times. If you are a young couple, you have young children. Oh my gosh, I know it's a lot going on, but take time to enjoy your children. You know, one thing that blessed me so much, that I enjoyed my children. when they were young. And sometimes when I'm just thinking about it, and I'll think back and like, I really enjoyed them. We did some homeschooling. I took them out a lot. And a lot of times it was just me and the children. Because when you're a stay-at-home mom, the husband has to work. And so a lot of times it's just you and the children. But you can enjoy those times. So I hope I've said something today to really encourage you young wives and young hubbies. Hang in there, young hubbies. Hang in there. Work on your self-esteem. Work on controlling your words. What you say to your wife is so important. How you talk to her is so important. I can't stress that enough, young husbands. When you're frustrated, don't come right home if you've had a hard day at work. Why don't you just drive around the block for a few minutes, or park out in the yard, or go get an ice cream or a soda, and just let yourself calm down before you walk in the house to deal with your wife and your children. Because if you walk in there with that day on your shoulders, they're going to catch it. Your boss is coming home with you. Whoever mistreated you that day and made you feel belittled and treated you bad, they're going to be right. They're coming home with you. And your wife's going to be saying, what is wrong with you? Because you brought your work home. You got to learn, young hubby, leave that work, leave the manager at work, the supervisor, leave them at work, the co-workers leave them at work. Leave all that stuff outside the door of your house. When you walk in that house, you need to be a new man. You need to be that man, that good guy. When you come in, your children should not run. They should not everybody run to their room when you hit that door. They should all run to you, because they know they're going to get the love of their dad. So I'm praying for you guys. I want you guys to make it. I hope you have a great afternoon, and I'll see you in the next video, okay? All right, bye.